Hi, brethren. So I just want to iterate before going into more about the prophetic, the call, how you know who's a prophet, who's not, who's prophesying, who's not, who's prophetic, who's not, who is just kind of stealing or taking from others, just adding into things. There are different variables to being a prophetic seer. There's a prophetic call. There's prophecy assignments on the calling of the prophetic call. So there's a wide variety there. But I want to talk about right here, verse 12 of chapter 11 in Proverbs. And then I'll be back on camera again. But today I just want to focus here on the word right here. It says, He who is devoid of wisdom despises his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his peace. I'm not going to talk about this part. We're just going to, just there, right there. So if you're devoid of wisdom, you despise your neighbor. Your neighbor is your brethren. Your neighbor is someone that is Christ-led, someone that is in Yahuah. That's your neighbor, not strangers that you just live by, as the world says neighbors. Despises him. Why? Because he doesn't have the wisdom. And again, remember what I said on the last video. You can be wise in the world. You don't have wisdom just because you're wise. Wisdom, you have to know the kingdom of Yahuah to have real wisdom. It's wise kingdom. Wisdom. A witness that is wise and kingdom. There's so much in that, and I'm not going to go into detail with that right now. But I keep speaking about this because it says, he who is devoid of wisdom. If you have wisdom, you're following Yahuah. This is where we're at now. You have to be Christ-led. You have to have Holy Spirit. You have to not despise your neighbor, your brethren. But a man of understanding holds his peace. So yeah, you can have understanding. You can be peaceable. It's comparing the two, okay? Like when they do a oxymoron or metaphorically or the same but different. So a man of understanding holds his peace. So even with the understanding, wisdom as her, wisdom as Yahuah's love, his heart, okay? You're going to have that peace that you hold. So that means even in your house, if a man and a woman, so if the husband is not understanding, he has no understanding, he's not able to hold his peace, he's going to get angry, he's not going to be mild-tempered, he's going to have a temper, he's going to be angry, throw off, off the handle real quick. If the woman, who is in Yahuah, right, if the wife has wisdom, she's going to know that she has to bring peace within understanding. That's not her job to hold his peace. However, it's her job to understand that perhaps he has to find that peace before he can speak to her in wisdom. So it's a lot there. I'm bringing this up here because, let me see where it is here. Give me just a second because I don't want to get off track here. That's not it. Hold on one second here. Okay, because we were talking about the call of wisdom, right? The call of wisdom. Wisdom calls aloud outside. She raises her voice in the open squares. She cries out in the chief concourses. At the opening of the gates in the city, she speaks her words. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? You see, simplistic, when I talk about being simplistic, what this area was talking about is the simplicity of not understanding wisdom. So the words like speaking chatty, crass, speaking like in a charming, deceitful, the tongue just spewing out words, being simple-minded, not talking about so it's talking about the morale of someone, not the etiquette. Well, it's speaking about the etiquette, but not speaking about the heart condition of someone who wants to live like a frugal lifestyle. This is simplistic. Excuse my fingers, everyone. I've been in water a lot, herbs and things like that. So working on my hands. Have to get them back to my smoothness. Okay. So it says, she speaks her words. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? For scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So, which is crazy to me, because someone who's foolish hates knowledge, but they say that they're wise because they have knowledge of the world. Book knowledge, philosophy, all of that. But it says that you're simplistic and you love it because you're not involved in the call of wisdom. You're not seeking wisdom that calls aloud outside. So, and then here, when the terror comes like a storm and your destruction comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. So it's like Yahuah is giving us the blueprint of how to stay within the course of wisdom, right? How to stay within that course of wisdom. And then also the prophetic and the prophet calling is an assignment. It's a call and assignment that Yahuah can only give. Like in the religious churches, they automatically they want to say somebody is a prophet, but another man cannot decide a prophet. It comes from Yahuah, period. That's that. I'm never going to say anything else. Nobody can decide it for themselves. They have to be called to it. You have to be called to it. You have to be given that gift. You have to be called to it. Yahuah knows why he's giving it to you. He knows your personality. He knows the reasons. So a person cannot put themselves in power and say they're a prophet. They do in the churches, but it's complete disobedience. It's a power trip. It's a very religious spirit. It's based on some other areas that I will speak on at another time. But right here in 17, 18. The wicked man does deceptive works, but he who sows righteousness will have a sure reward. As righteousness leads to life, so he who pursues evil pursues it to his own death. I mean, how much more can we say? If you're not sowing seed on good soil, if you're not trying to understand righteousness and have that reward, that leads to life, you're pursuing evil, and that leads to death. Those who are of a perverse heart are an abomination to the Lord. And I said this before last night when I spoke on the last video, but the blameless in their ways are his delight. So a person, for someone to say, okay, you have a heart, the bottom of my heart. No, your heart See, out of your heart is what speaks. You can have a perverse heart or you can have a righteous heart. You could have a pure intention heart that doesn't lead to deception. You could have a heart of wisdom, a heart of love, a heart of truth, a heart of light. And Yahuah delights in that because you're blameless in his eyes. Or you could have a perverse heart. Harlotry leads to suffering. It leads to family disorganization and dysfunction. It leads to deceitfulness. It leads to a woman who is scorned, a woman who hasn't healed, to taking a man down that same path, just like Jezebel and Ahab, right? And it causes that woman to send that man not just to the pit of hell, not just the darkness, but devoid. Causes him to be devoid of wisdom. And if he has the wisdom of Christ, right? He's walking in Yahushua's way. He's going to understand peace. He's going to understand that he cannot have that in his house. It's not a woman that he should be going after. So these are just the areas that I wanted to talk about. And I'm just trying to catch up here with what I need to do, but I also feel a little tired as well. It's very hot here right now, so I'm going to go ahead and end here. And I just wanted to mention this. And I pray you all have a great Sunday. And I love you with the love of Christ, as Christ loves the church. And we shall meet again soon. All right? Bye-bye.